Elephant in the room, Shedeur Sanders. What happened, Tom? Why did he go so late in the draft?
I mean, it's a good question. I wasn't a part of any evaluation process or to
Skip Bayless
see
says
that.
otherwise.
No, well, everyone's got that's the problem with media is everyone can just say whatever the fuck they want. I actually texted Shedeur because I know him very well. And I said, dude, like whatever happens, wherever you go, like that's your first day. Day 2 matters more than the draft. I was 199.
Yeah.
So who could speak on it better than me? Like what that really means. Use it as motivation. You're going to get your chances. Go take advantage.
The NFL is straight up losing its mind right now because Tom Brady just dropped a nuclear bomb about Shedeur Sanders. And no one, not even the wildest rumor mill, saw this one coming. This isn't your regular hot take or some boring recycled quote. Nah, this is the kind of league-shaking chaos that flips everything upside down, sparks wild debates, and has fans losing it. Popcorn flying, phones buzzing, and timelines exploding every 5 seconds. The league was already tense, like a pressure cooker about to blow. And then here comes Brady, cool as ever, walking right into the fire and lighting the whole thing up. Nobody asked him for this, nobody cornered him in an interview, but out of nowhere he dropped a line that made the entire football world stop breathing for a second. Even Brady looked like he surprised himself, like, wait, did I just say that out loud? But it was too late. The internet had already snatched it, clipped it, replayed it, and turned it into the headline of the week.
Everyone to feel like they were part of the success. I told the linemen, we're all running to the end zone and we're celebrating as a team. Because I think that's way more intimidating than a quarterback doing his 6-shooter guns and pointing up in the crowd and doing all that other bullshit that's very self-promotional, but it's not about winning. And I think winning in football is about a team, always a team attitude.
And that's what makes this wild. Brady didn't need to open his mouth. He could have just kept sipping those green smoothies, showing off his skincare routine and cashing in on that luxury lifestyle. But no, he went full unfiltered, straight savage, and cracked open a vault nobody thought we'd ever see inside. And what spilled out? The truth about why Shedeur Sanders never ended up rocking a Raiders jersey. Out of sheer accident, Brady might have solved the biggest mystery since draft night. The one analysts, insiders, and Twitter detectives have been arguing about like it's a national conspiracy. Fans everywhere froze, phones in hand, jaws dropped like they'd just seen Bigfoot walk into a Starbucks and order a pumpkin spice latte. Because when Tom Brady talks, the NFL listens, even when he's not supposed to. And the way he said it, it wasn't just a leak. It was like he ripped the curtain off the magic show and shouted, "Here's the trick, folks." Boom, the ugly truth right in the open, and the league has been scrambling ever since. And the wildest part, it wasn't even about Shedeur's skills. Everyone already knows the guy's got an arm like a cannon, reads defenses like he's got cheat codes, and walks with that cool confidence that makes defenders flinch before the snap.
My story's gonna be similar, you know. I was a late round draft pick, but we're here now, so none of that stuff matters. It just mattered on the day, and I'm just excited to be here.
Brady wasn't throwing shade at his talent, not even close. What he hinted at was the kind of shady, behind-the-scenes NFL drama that usually gets buried deep in dusty file cabinets and whispered about in back hallways of team offices. This wasn't football talk. This was soap opera territory. Suddenly, fans turned into full-time detectives, replaying every second of Brady's interview like it was the Zapruder film. They were analyzing his tone, his smirk, even the pause between his words. And then it happened. Boom! Wild theories exploded all over the internet faster than a Patrick Mahomes no-look pass. People were convinced this wasn't just about football, this was about something personal. Some fans swore it proved the Raiders didn't pass on Shedeur because of his play, but because of politics, ego, or maybe even fear of what his rise would mean for the old guard. And when Brady accidentally let that slip, that tiny, explosive little slip, it was like tossing gasoline on a raging fire.
And Tom Brady finally couldn't take it anymore, and he decides to go off on Shedeur Sanders and his supporters. He is going to explain on this video clip that I'm about to explain and play on why he doesn't like Shedeur and why he didn't select him for the NFL draft. And thank you, Tom, for proving me correct about you. Shout out to the supporters and the content creators.
The NFL world didn't just react, it erupted. Reporters fell out of their chairs, analysts went silent mid-segment, and fans, they were losing it, laughing, screaming, and dragging the Raiders front office through digital flames. Coaches were probably texting each other like, "Did he seriously just say that?" While general managers were pretending they didn't hear a thing, praying the whole mess would vanish before Monday morning press time. But oh no, fans weren't letting this one go. Memes were flying faster than trade rumors, roasting the Raiders like a backyard barbecue. It wasn't the first time Brady had shaken up the league just by talking, but this hit different. This wasn't a feel-good quote or some classic respect the game cliche. This was a crack in the NFL's carefully polished image, and everyone could feel the truth leaking out through it. It's one thing to toss out football cliches, but it's a whole other level of chaos to casually drop the real reason a generational talent like Shedeur Sanders got passed over by a team desperate for a quarterback. Brady basically did what every fan secretly dreams of. He spilled the tea with no filter, no warning, just pure truth explosion. You could practically hear Raiders fans screaming from outer space the moment it hit the airwaves.
It's some serious drama involving Shedeur Sanders and a 2025 NFL draft. Now, we know when the draft came about, the Raiders passed on Shedeur, I believe, 2 to 3 times, right? And we know Tom Brady was very pivotal in Shedeur development from middle school through high school and a little of college with him at the quarterback position. Shedeur Sanders used to, I believe, travel down to Florida, train with Tom Brady, I believe his son too, if I'm not mistaken, and they used to,
These poor fans have already been through it. Years of chaos, endless coaching carousels, and quarterbacks who burn out faster than cheap fireworks on New Year's Eve. But now, they find out that Tom Brady, the man who turned franchises into dynasties, might have just cracked the code on their misery. No wonder Raiders Nation's collective therapy sessions are booked solid this week. It wasn't just another rumor. It was validation that their front office isn't just bad. It's cartoonishly bad. Like, drop an anvil on your own foot bad. You couldn't write this level of dysfunction if you tried. And the reactions? Pure entertainment. Some fans were treating Brady's words like gospel, like the man had just walked down from Mount Lombardi holding 2 stone tablets that read, "Thou shalt not draft Shedeur Sanders, for reasons only chaos understands." Others were convinced Brady had just exposed the NFL's secret society, the Illuminati of football, where Shedeur Y figures decide which quarterbacks rise and which ones mysteriously fade into the abyss. Meanwhile, over in Vegas, the Raiders PR team went into full panic mode. You could practically hear the keyboards clacking from across the desert as they typed out a perfectly useless statement: "We remain committed to excellence." Sure, buddy? Excellence in confusion, maybe? Because if commitment scored points, the Raiders would have gone undefeated seasons ago. Their fans deserve hazard pay at this point. And through all this madness, guess who didn't have to say a single word? Shedeur Sanders. The man's just sitting back watching the chaos unfold like a movie marathon.
Shedeur Sanders is being watched currently. Any advice to him?
Regardless of where you were picked, everyone's got the opportunity to be their best and show up. And I think the great thing about the NFL is it's such a meritocracy. If you play well, you're going to get opportunities and you're going to get a chance to go out there on the field and play and perform well. And I know he'll be ready for that moment whenever it happens. I'll be very excited to watch him get out there. I've known him a long time and proud of the young man that he is. I know he'll take advantage of whatever opportunities come.
Brady did all the heavy lifting for him. One casual comment from the GOAT, and suddenly the entire league's whispering his name again. Imagine being a young quarterback and watching Tom Brady unknowingly blow up the league on your behalf. That's the kind of chaos you can't buy, and Shedeur just won the spotlight without even stepping on the field. So basically, Brady aired out the league's dirty laundry for him. Shedeur didn't even have to lift a finger. He probably just sat back, cracked open a soda, and thought, "Thanks, Tom. You just made my next contract negotiation 10 times easier." The man got free publicity from the greatest quarterback of all time, and the NFL world, oh, they weren't about to let that slide. Takes were flying everywhere, piling up faster than fast food wrappers in a teenager's backseat. Every debate show went full drama mode, turning Brady's slip into a week-long soap opera with slow-motion replays, suspenseful background music, and more graphics than a Marvel movie. Fans roasted the Raiders like it was a national holiday, dragging their front office for the world to see. And honestly, can anyone even pretend to be shocked anymore?
I want to ask one more question about Shedeur. How do you see him fitting into the offense in Cleveland, and what does he have to do to prove himself in that organization?
Yeah, he's got to show up every day. And what I say about leadership, you got to, as a quarterback, you have to be a leader. And to me, the leader is, do I care about my teammates? And do I care about what we're trying to accomplish? Like rules 1 and 2. And I would say that to every quarterback that I ever come across. And if they're listening, do that.
This was just the latest episode in the Raiders' long-running tragic comedy, a franchise that somehow manages to turn opportunity into disaster with Olympic precision. But here's the twist. Brady didn't accidentally do this. He's been in the game too long for that. The man knows how his words hit, so either he truly had a whoops moment or he just decided to pull the pin on a truth grenade and lob it right into the middle of the NFL. Because if there's one thing Tom Brady has mastered, besides winning, it's timing. And this one landed perfectly, spiraling straight into pure chaos. The irony? Shedeur might have just dodged a bullet. Fans started joking that not getting drafted by the Raiders wasn't a loss. It was divine protection, like skipping a meteor strike and getting a front row seat to watch it crash in flames across the desert. You could practically hear fans saying, "Bro, he escaped that mess." Because honestly, when was the last time the Raiders made a move that didn't end in confusion or regret? The shockwaves from Brady's words rippled far beyond Vegas, all the way to New England, where Patriots fans didn't know whether to defend their golden boy or laugh at the Raiders' eternal meltdown. Meanwhile, analysts scrambled to rewrite their mock drafts, retroactively trying to act like they saw it coming all along. Too late, folks. The damage was done, the truth was out, and Brady's bomb had officially rewritten the conversation. And Brady? Oh, he just went right back to living that ultra-clean avocado ice cream life while the rest of the NFL scrambled to pick up the shattered pieces of what he casually dropped like a grenade.
Okay, nah, I ain't gonna play that 2 times. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, sometimes it's good to say, "I told you so." Sometimes it's good to see the things we reveal and it happened for real. But man, this guy, Tom Brady, he is not playing. So we got to talk about Tom Brady in these comments that everybody knows were aimed at Shedeur Sanders. Tom didn't say his name directly, but let's stop playing. The whole world knew who he was talking about. And honestly, the message is way more dangerous than people realize, bro. I'm gonna explain it and it's gonna make sense. But let's look at a post.
The man stirred the entire league and then dipped. Classic Brady move. Meanwhile, fans didn't just react. They overreacted in the most beautiful, chaotic way possible. Theories started flying faster than trade rumors on deadline day, and each one was wilder than the last. Some fans swore there had to be a secret feud, that Brady knew something personal, some drama we weren't supposed to hear. Others claimed the Raiders were straight up scared of Shedeur's star power, terrified he'd steal every headline, every camera flash, and expose just how mediocre their brand has really become.
That was already dropped. So you got a lot of people like Pharaoh NFL who got legit receipts as well. It says, "Oh, okay, now I know why the Raiders and Tom Brady didn't draft Shedeur Sanders."
And of course, the conspiracy crowd jumped right in, saying maybe, just maybe, the NFL itself nudged things in a certain direction. Because let's be real, when Brady drops a bomb, the fallout always turns into fan fiction on steroids. And honestly, this whole mess fits perfectly with the Raiders' tragic pattern. Passing on Shedeur Sanders now sits right up there with drafting kickers too early, trading away superstars for spare change, and pretending every losing season is part of some mystical rebuilding plan that never actually finishes. At this point, They've turned bad decision-making into performance art.
Brady has called me out. I guess he's called me a liar. So I'm about to call BS on Tom Brady because Tom, you know and I know everything I said about you and Shedeur Sanders is obviously exactly right. I said on the Skip Bayless show, and I tweeted several times, that Tom Brady obviously played a role in the Raiders passing on Shedeur Sanders 7 times in the draft before finally Cleveland took him, as you know, early in the 5th.
Brady didn't create this chaos. He just shined a spotlight on it, and the light was blinding. The wild part? Brady didn't even mean to do it. He wasn't pushed, he wasn't prompted, and he didn't owe anyone an explanation. But he said it anyway, and now the league can't unhear it. That one little truth bomb tore through the NFL's perfect image like a crack in the glass. Impossible to ignore, impossible to repair, and the best twist of all, Shedeur Sanders walked away looking like a straight legend. Brady's words, intentional or not, just validated every whisper that's been floating around. That this wasn't about skill, it was about something else. Politics, power, ego, whatever it wasn't talent holding him back. Now fans don't see Shedeur as the one who slipped through the cracks. They see him as the one who got away, the guy the Raiders could have had, but fumbled. And that right there, that's poetic revenge. While the NFL world sits in stunned silence, Raiders fans drown their tears in stadium nachos, and Twitter memes multiply faster than rabbits on caffeine. One truth rings louder than ever. Brady didn't just expose a reason, he exposed the absurdity of the entire system. And Shedeur Sanders, he's probably sitting somewhere with that calm grin, knowing sometimes the biggest win is when somebody else drops the truth bomb for you. The second Brady's little truth grenade went off, every sports analyst within shouting distance.
Brady had something interesting to say about evaluating quarterbacks and how they celebrate after scoring touchdowns. Is that a shot at Shedeur? Is that why the Raiders didn't take Shedeur?
Well, the Raiders had a few opportunities to draft him, did they not? Even after the first round?
Sprinted toward their cameras like it was a 4-alarm fire. Microphones went live, lights flicked on, and suddenly every talk show turned into a courtroom with Shedeur as both the defendant and the star witness. The wild part? The louder the analysts got, the clearer it became that this wasn't even about football anymore. It was about power, ego, and the kind of chaos that comes with being too good, too confident, and too magnetic for certain old-school gatekeepers to handle. You could almost feel the tension, the younger generation hyped, the old guard clutching their pearls. The NFL doesn't always know how to handle swagger, and Shedeur's got it in spades. Then came the hot takes, a stampede of them. Analysts were lining up like kids outside a candy shop, each one desperate to get their opinion on record. Some were practically shouting, "See? We told you, this dude's the real deal." They called the Raiders' decision pure lunacy, claiming Brady's slip-up just confirmed what the smart ones had been saying all along, that Shedeur Sanders isn't just another rookie, he's the spark the league's been starving for. A fresh face with that it factor that could light up every highlight reel and shake up the establishment.
I don't know if it's a shot at Shedeur. I know one thing, Jason. It certainly wasn't.
But of course, there was another camp. The haters, the doubters, the self-proclaimed realists. They couldn't stand the idea of Shedeur getting this much shine before he's even taken a pro snap. You could hear the bitterness in their voices, like they were allergic to excitement. These weren't just skeptics. They were the type who think swagger equals arrogance and attention equals trouble. The same tired voices that hate seeing the game evolve, clutching the past like a trophy they refuse to let go. And through it all, Shedeur didn't have to say a word. He just watched the circus unfold, knowing the truth had already been spoken. And this time, it wasn't him doing the talking. They were practically foaming at the mouth, doing everything they could to drag Shedeur back down to earth, picking apart every game, every throw, every smile, like confidence was some kind of crime. These critics weren't analyzing, they were venting. It was less football breakdown and more like a group therapy session for people allergic to swagger.
the Raiders passed on Shedeur Sanders. Yet when Tom Brady was asked on the Jake Paul podcast why Shedeur fell so far, he stammered for a second. And then he said, that's a good question. And then Tom said, I wasn't part of any evaluation process or to see that. I guess meaning that he wasn't at all a part of the Raiders draft process, so he wasn't privy to any inside information about why Shedeur fell.
You could hear the envy dripping through the air. That bitter, why does he get all this attention already? Energy that always shows up when a new star threatens to flip the old order upside down. It's comical, really. The pattern never changes. The second someone new shines too bright, the haters start crawling out of the woodwork like ants swarming a picnic. The NFL claims to love stars, but the moment one shows up with too much style, too much charisma, or too much shine, the league's self-appointed gatekeepers jump into action. Suddenly, there's a whole committee of critics ready to slice that player open like a Thanksgiving turkey. And Shedeur, he's become the lightning rod for that tension. Young, fearless, dripping with confidence, rocking designer fits, and worst of all, he's really, really good. That combo sends the old school analysts into total meltdown mode. They can't process the idea of a quarterback who doesn't fit their outdated clipboard-holding, humble-to-a-fault stereotype. They want safe, silent, and unthreatening, not a kid who can throw darts, command the spotlight, and make it all look effortless. Meanwhile, the players who back Shedeur, they're not doing it for social media likes or camera time. They're doing it because they've seen the grind. They've watched him put in the hours, seen him eat, sleep, and breathe this game. They respect the work, not just the talk. And that's the difference. While the analysts whine and nitpick from the sidelines, the players know exactly why Shedeur is blowing up, because he earned it every single snap of the way. They've watched him do it, not just talk about it. Shedeur's been out there proving himself in real time, taking hits, delivering strikes, and carrying himself like he's been in the league for a decade. That poise, that confidence, that fire, it's not hype, it's earned. The players know it when they see it, and they're saying it loud, this dude's got the IT factor in neon lights. You can't fake that. And Shedeur's got it glowing brighter than Vegas at midnight.
To me, it's a direct shot, and it blows up. And this is where I give Dion and his marketers and all this. They had this picture paint. Oh, Tom Brady is Shedeur's mentor. And I called Tom, and he and Shedeur talked on the phone, and Shedeur leaned into all of that. I think it was all smoke and mirrors. I don't think there was any authenticity to any of it. If Tom Brady had been mentoring Shedeur would have taken that gold chain off, and the whole watch deal would have never happened. It was all a scam.
My belief is if they truly were a mentor-mentee relationship and that dynamic actually existed in an authentic way, Shedeur Sanders would have absolutely aced the interview process.
But of course, that just makes the anti-Shedeur crowd even madder. Nothing gets under a critic's skin like real players validating what they refuse to admit. It's pure chaos out there. Analysts throwing shade while athletes clap back with receipts, and now the NFL conversation is split right down the middle like a halftime scoreboard. Half the world's out here crowning Shedeur as the next face of the league, the future, the energy, the one who makes football fun again. And the other half? They're acting like his popularity is some contagious virus spreading too fast to control. They're terrified that the new era has already arrived, and it's wearing Shedeur's number. But here's the real kicker. Both sides are feeding the fire. The more critics dissect him, the more players defend him. The more haters hate, the bigger his name gets. Every argument, every tweet, every rant just turns him into a headline again and again. Whether people love him or can't stand him, they can't stop talking about him. And in today's wild, headline-hungry NFL circus, that's the ultimate win. So if you made it this far, smash that like button, hit subscribe, share this with your crew, and I'll see you on the next one.